We never lost hope. Now we must rebuild even though the road is so broken and cold. Warriors back to your post. It's not about us, it's about the unborn. The originators, our voice. Believers and bringers who have yet to come on board. We maintain the tales of before when virtue was true. When we protected and defended you, it's easy to do. We had nothing to lose. The blues is the bruises providing the proof. We still walk in felony proofs. While the pathways improve, so let the world ever win be removed. So we make way for this horizon. A new dawn and we're building to repair for the respawn. Retaliate against fate by rebuilding the gates. We will have a city again. We will seize the home and a place. Regardless of hate, regardless of the shackles they place. So here we are with armor on, submitted to fate. Bound low until we saw the soldiers of our last brigade. Holding on to the vision of the King's Court made plain. Written down on tables with the revelation of the end game. Call the messengers, no delay. Rewrite the future of a legend.
Web3 has the possibility to expand our mind and expand our tent pegs to what is possible.
Communities like this is that we come together to create the solutions that we want in the world.
The community needs your story, so come join us.
Technology is a tool to impact and bring God's kingdom here on earth.
Right? Play to earn, that's where the game changer comes in.
Well, Web3 is all about asset.
What you have to say is what's needed to be said in Hollywood.
People are looking for the miraculous, part of taking back some of that ground.
You are bringing the light into such a dark, dark place.
Very focused on, impacting people.
And just getting started. Participate.
Our partnership it's helping to cut that code of poverty.
Mentorship, entrepreneurship, and faith. These are your pillars to success.
We have given a solution that we have brought the people from Sony, Disney, and Marvel to solve. Will you be a part of this?
I don't know, but
literally that entire thing was done with my microphone off. That was just the test run. What's up, y'all?
Oh man, awesome. I was like, I don't know what it is, man, but I can't hear you, Sean.
We should have just played it up with Manny and be like, I don't know what I can hear him. I don't know. No, it was the same thing.
I'm like turning up my audio up and down. I'm like, this thing's not broken, is it? All of a sudden.
Well, and that entire time I was given like an intro about like, hey, I'm excited and I'm ready to run through a brick wall. And I gave y'all the most amazing introduction that no one is ever going to hear. And so now I feel a little bit like this.
Bring us up, Sean. Bring us up. Do it again, buddy. Do it again.
All right. Here we go. You ready for this? You guys, ladies and gentlemen, I could not be more excited than to be here. Welcome, Kingdom Warriors. Let's go tag your teams. And I am, if you saw, it said Eric Skeldon and special guests. And I'm excited because I get to be a special guest and I get to bring up Timothy Morgan and Manny Lopez. Hey. That is how it should have gone.
Such a goofball, Sean. Such a goofball. I love it.
Well, hey, you guys, we were even just talking behind the scenes and it's been fun because I've gotten to know both Manny and Timothy over the past couple of months through the Kingdom Warriors NFT project. And it's fun because selfishly, I've got my computer pulled up right here with a Google Doc where I'm going to be taking notes because I can't wait to learn from these two gentlemen because they are excellent at running businesses and marketing. And the two things, the title of this session that I get to ask questions around is systems and strategy to build and sustain movement. Because, and I love this word movement because if you think of, like, I think of a pond, if the opposite of movement is like stagnant, right? If you think of a stagnant pond, it's got like that green slime over the top of it and like the dead fish are rising. Sorry if that's too graphic for you. And I saw that we've got some comments here. Someone's here from the Philippines. So early morning, I apologize. We've got the Philippines in the house. We've got different people dropping in. So if that's too graphic because it's early morning, my fault. But if you imagine this stagnant pond, like the opposite of that obviously is movement, right? It's this, if water is moving, I think of like a clear and crystal stream. It's refreshing, it's life-giving. And so we get to talk about this systems and strategy to build and sustain movement. And so I'm going to allow both Manny and Timothy to introduce themselves a little bit more. Before I do, I'm going to put up a couple more comments. And while I hand it to them, I'm going to put up some more comments. Be sure to tag your group in this Facebook stream. I know that this is the bonus. This is the extra. This is the hashtag next level, right? So if you're here, you're leveling up. And we're so excited that you're here with us. So be sure to tag your team members and see if we can get as many people as we can, just to encourage and to ask questions. And we're watching this. Julie put movement with like the waves. I love the wave symbol right there. Thanks for listening to the water there. Hello from Kingwood, Texas. So as you can see, we can see your comments. So feel free to ask questions. We want this to be kind of free flowing. So before we start asking questions around this, both yourself, Timothy, and Manny, I'll let you go first. Just give an introduction as to who you are, what you do, and hey, humble brag. Now is your time to humble brag about yourself, some of your accomplishments, right? So Manny,
I can't wait. I can't wait. This is going to be fun. No. My name is Manny Lopez.
He's like, no, stop it. No, I don't want to do this.
Stop. Keep it coming. Now, I'm an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur for now 11 years. My focus is in the systems and automation space. So this topic is perfect. This is going to be fun. I love automation. I love to take a process that's redundant and turn it into either automated or delegated. And my journey in entrepreneurship has been pretty interesting. I started kind of teaching in the space of systems, automation, app development, and that kind of range, and then kind of shifted more to building out a school. Started in 2017. I created an online gamified school that ties into the blockchain. So I created my own ERC20 token back when people didn't even know what a token was. So I've been pretty bullish, to say the least, on the idea of blockchain and technology and how to kind of tie all this together with Web3. I'm super excited to bring this conversation in. So let's do this.
I love it. One of the OGs in the blockchain and I think we might get a couple questions around that and how did you do it, those kinds of things. So all right, Timothy, you're up. We're on deck, but you are now up. Timothy,
So
go ahead.
Check
and
it out.
yourself.
I was a pastor for 15 years. I ended up building, buying, selling businesses from the age of a teenager as well. So kind of had one foot in the ministry world, one foot in the business world. And then I stumbled onto something that we all know and love called blockchain in 2014. Started investing in Bitcoin and then later Ethereum and some gaming companies and Solana and just some other great projects, and found that after also starting a marketing agency to kind of complement this new evolution, I went through like an early midlife reset at mid 30s, and I'm sitting there going, okay, what should I get involved with? And as I started the marketing agency, it really started developing it in a way that I didn't expect it to. It started as a company. A traditional marketing agency was trying to form, but then it developed into more of a network. And so we love using the terms movement, the Giver Marketing Network, it's what it's called, but it's more of a movement of professionals who are coming together as a collective on mission to help causes and companies doing good in the world. And just proud to be a Kingdom Warrior holder, just here to pour into the community, learn from Manny and you, Sean, and Eric and Andrew and Benji and just everybody who's been contributing. It's just like just a big fest of learning. So love it. Glad to be here.
Well, and both of these gentlemen are just full of life and full of energy. And not only that, but they're also both family men. And I know that
He froze.
Family, go family.
Go family.
Hey,
We're taking
he'll
over,
probably-
Timothy. We
Like
got
I've been
this.
on calls with them.
Oh, there he goes.
You guys, hey, if that happens again, you can just kick me off if you want to. Welcome to the new age where Comcast likes to drop my signal every so often. So we'll keep
Technology.
rolling with it.
When greatness is about to be shared, technology doesn't seem to like to play along either. Whenever I'm in the so it's
Here
probably
comes
my
the
fault.
conspiracy
My bad.
theory, right? Here it comes. I love it.
Well, and that's the true thing, right? Like, that's something that we can talk about, right? Because in order to build and sustain movement, you're going to have to overcome technology issues. You're going to have to overcome the unforeseen. So maybe that's something that we first talk, because this is something that's been happening real with me right now. In order for systems and strategy to build and sustain movement. So what if I ask this question? What would you guys say? So if you launch something, I'm just going to jump straight into launch. And if you launch something and you face either a system or a strategy and something breaks, what should be like the first thing that people do in order to either fix it or replace that system? And either one can take it.
Manny, this is you, buddy.
All right, so I'll give a recent example, and this is in the NFT space. So a project I recently took over had to deliver on a specific type of utility, and we had it all mapped out. I even announced it to our Discord. Everyone was excited. I was like, yep, we got the smart contract ready to go. The system looks like it's going to be perfect. We're going to be able to deliver these like nothing. And then, like, I would say 3 hours after the announcement goes out, everyone's super excited. I get an inbox from the developer, and he goes, hey, I read that code wrong, and it doesn't actually do it that way. And it's not going to be any way like that. And I'm like, oh, crap, what am I going to do? And so immediately I go into pivot mode. I go into solutions. I go into finding a new way to do it, whether it's going to be a little bit more hands-on, whether I have to create new systems, new processes. But anything that I've had where I have an issue, I go straight to finding a new solution, right? I don't like getting stuck into it. So it's kind of like a maze, right? If you were to visualize this, if I get stuck into a wall at the maze, I'm at a dead end. Uh-oh, I can't stay here. I'm not going to be able to get out of this maze if I just sit here and be like, uh-oh, what do I do? So I've got to pivot. I got to find a new route. I got to find a new journey that I can go towards that can get either a similar result or maybe something completely different that I didn't expect, but it may still be a really awesome solution. So I would say that's my answer there is pivot, find a new solution, and be consistent, right? It's only those that stop moving, just like you were saying earlier about the pond, right? If it's stagnant and you're not moving, you're not going anywhere. And if you ain't going anywhere, Web3 is going to pass you up very quickly.
Well, and I think that's even an interesting thing that we can carry into that, like, because the opposite of the stagnant pond is the moving river. And I used to live in Phoenix, Arizona, and I went to the Grand Canyon 8 times while living there. And like a river is going to be carving it out. And if the river moves because some big boulder gets dropped in its place and it moves around it, it could carve out something just as beautiful or more so than what was originally there, right? So I think that that's important. How about you, Timothy?
I think innovation is a big part of how you think about innovation is going to determine how you actually incorporate a movement or encourage a movement. Also, I would say that when some kind of technology issue comes up, and just like Manny was saying, pivot quickly, but pivot with the most efficiency possible with the people in your tribe that can come alongside you. And basically, maybe they've already solved the problem. Maybe they've tried a couple of different things. They might even be your competitor, technically, because they're in a part of a larger ecosystem. Like Kingdom Warrior has a lot of overlap. Manny and I have some overlap, but you know what? We're here to help each other. Like, let's lean into people like Manny for automation. And what I've noticed is when it comes to movement and network and technology, there's people that are in our ecosystems that are way, way better at it. Just because I can learn it doesn't mean I should.
That's that's really good too. Just because I can learn it doesn't mean that I should. And I didn't even introduce myself. So a little bit about my background is I'm in the corporate events industry, and I know shameless. I get to shameless plug and humble brag now too. But here's the real thing. In on March, I think it was March 15th, March 13th. I used to have the date memorized. I was in New York. Me and my boss were meeting with the NFL, with Citizens Bank, and with VaynerMedia from Gary Vaynerchuk's company. And that was the day that the World Health Organization declared it a worldwide pandemic. So you want to talk about like momentum stopping? Like, we were a corporate events company and all we did was in-person events. And so literally on the flight there, we got cancellations. And then in the next 5 days, we lost $1.4 million worth of business. Our entire business went to zero. And we had the idea, I came up with the idea of, I said, hey, like, no one's going to be meeting in person. We have to build a studio and start to stream. And so we went through iteration after iteration after iteration. And finally now we feel like we can figure it out. And we not only have in-person events, but we also have virtual events and we have hybrid events. And purely by God's grace, by the combination of the three of them, we've been able to diversify where we have more clients rather than just relying. We had one big contract that was probably 70% of our business. And we now are almost back to $1 million already. And we're projecting $1 million already this year. Because in 2020, it like dropped. It was $1.4 million in business in 2019, dropped to 350,000. And that was, most of that came in Q1 of 2020. And then 2019, 2021, we got to about 800 or so, and we're already hoping to break $1 million this year. And so the one thing that I don't know if you guys feel this way, that has probably been the most challenging thing for me when it comes to something different is asking for help, right? Like, that's been something that I've had to learn a lot is, hey, let me, if I don't know this, who in my network can I actually, like, be it like direct, hey, I need help with this because I don't know what I'm doing. I sometimes will go to YouTube first or something like that. So let's back up because we talked already about like problem solving after the launch phase. But obviously we're here talking about NFTs and Kingdom Warrior NFTs. And Manny, you're actually like you're leading the Mini Monkey Mafia group, which is an NFT project separate from Kingdom Warriors. And so with marketing and business, an NFT, I heard this earlier today that an NFT is a medium. And through that medium, we can launch a product, whether that's art or whether that is a business masterclass or like Kingdom Warriors, it's going to be the medium. What we're trying to accomplish is building a story to build a game, and it's a media company. So a game, a movie, a book, and music. And so if you break like a product, if you have like, let's say an iPhone, I've got my iPhone here, there is pre-launch, there's launch, and then there's post-launch, right? Let's talk about pre-launch. What are some of the systems and strategies that people should be thinking about, whether that's automated? I mean, you guys can just start rattling off softwares if you want to, but what are some systems and strategies that you need to have in place pre-launch that you need to focus on?
I would say collabs is going to be huge, right? You've got to have eyeballs on what you're doing. You got to attract people within your target market. You got to build your community. Without a community, you could have an awesome product, but no one's going to know about what you're doing, right? If we were doing this and nobody was watching live, nobody was asking questions, it would be very hard for us to get this message out to more people. How are we going to serve people with what it is we're putting out there without building the communities? So one of the cool things that the collabs in the NFT space is that they're so open about how to do it, right? Like recently, there's a guy that inboxed me out of nowhere, and I run a couple of Discords, so I'm constantly getting DMs about promos. So like, oh, let's promote your stuff on my Twitter or my TikTok or whatnot, and I was very specific on how to structure the collab that made it an easy win-win. There's no upfront cost to me, and there's an easy win-win for him if he's delivering results. And the collaborations, that I would say is one of the most effective ways to grow your community. Find people who are already influential to the market you want to reach, right? We want to reach people who are all about the kingdom. They're all about new technology and innovation and Web3. They want to learn these things, whether they're day one and they're like, I have no idea what a wallet is, or they're saying, hey, I really want to level my stuff up and really build a community that is all about moving the kingdom forward. And in collaboration, it's all about finding people who already have that influence. Like there's people, like we just did 6 collaborations that got 100,000 reach of people that are in the NFT space. They're already in Discord. They're already partaking in giveaways. They're already commenting in chats. They already know the process. So it's a lot easier to kind of bring those people in whatever you're doing, right? You may be in real estate. You may be having an art project that you want to get out there. Find out who your audience is. Kingdom Warriors, we know who our audience is, right? We know who we want to further with our type of community. And in your community, find out who that is. Once you know your audience, then understand what can I bring to that audience that's going to give them value. Because you're going to get value by you promoting your product, your service, whatever you do. How are they going to have value in not only buying the product, but continuing to hold the product or service or NFT, promote you to everyone that they know, and then come back for more, right? That's the brand building that comes into it.
I love that you're talking about collaboration at that level, Manny, because not only are you doing it and you have some tips and ideas and thoughts to be able to give to everybody, but we're literally in the middle of one right now. I mean, think about all the collaborations that are possible even within just Kingdom Warriors alone, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of possible collaborations. If you pay attention to the names on the screens and the names in the groups and the names in the chat and then the names of the people that are active, those are your collaboration partners. Those are the people that you want to at least have a conversation with and see if there's some alignment. And chances are there is some alignment. And but by the way, don't be afraid to start small. I mean, if somebody has a few thousand people in their, in their audience, and you have a few thousand people, that's brilliant. Like just start wherever you're at. Even if it's just a few hundred people that have eyeballs on what you're doing. Offer that as a collaboration medium or leveler to be able to connect with somebody else who wants to do the same thing. Complementary collaboration is brilliant. Great point, Manny. Love that.
That's literally how Mini Monkey Mafia sold out their collection in 3 hours. They've done $1 million in sales in about 6 months. And when we originally got that project launched, it was collaborations constantly. Like every day there was a new collaboration being announced, new people coming into the Discord. People are like, oh, what's this project about? Like right now, I'm looking in the chat and there's somebody asking, how do I get on the whitelist? Brand new person just jumped in today. So it's looking at saying, where is my audience? Where are they spending their time? And how do I get my message in front of that audience? And the best way is saying, I have a win-win scenario. Like we're giving away NFTs, we're giving away valuable resources like Kingdom Warriors are giving all this education for you guys to just access, for you to say, hey, learn about what we're doing. We've got some pretty awesome stuff that you guys need to know. And we have some pretty awesome people in our community that can teach you what you need to know. And we're going to give it to you. All you have to do is show up. The more you show up, the more you engage, the more value you can bring to that audience. And it just creates that nice win-win of relationship building, natural form of building your community.
I would say the big thing that stops people from collaboration, Sean, and I'd be curious on your thoughts on this too, is fear of not having enough to go around. Mm. Oh, somebody's going to end up jumping into that ecosystem and they're going to like them more than me. Or they're going to like them more than our, this ecosystem over this ecosystem, this group over this group. It's ridiculous. For every, maybe 5% of people might do that, but then you get your stuff, your group in front of another 90% of people that might want to consider being a part of both ecosystems, both groups. So that 5% of fear needs to be just cut, done, out, and then go after the 90% of people that want to be a part of both groups. Like, what's wrong with that?
I've got some data on that, but yeah, go ahead, Sean.
Well, I was going to say, because what's smart about the collaboration piece is if you're starting off growing a brand, getting ready to launch a product, what you're essentially talking about is borrowing someone else's audience, right? because there's other people that have your your target audience's attention, and that's what you're trying to grab. And so by doing that, if you're starting from scratch, you don't have to focus on SEO. Like those things are going to be important the longer you stay around and the more that you can get other people, and then it just kind of snowballs. But I think that that's really smart. And when you do that, it's again bringing in an outside perspective. And I think about also dang it. Come on, am I back now?
Oh, you're good. You're good, Sean.
Okay.
You're good.
Got it.
And you glitched for like 2 seconds.
Okay, good. Well, and I was also thinking about how, like, if you're a business and you bring in a consultant, there's something about a consultant and outside perspective. It's a lot like going to see a therapist for your mental health, right? You can think about something all day long, but as soon as you go to see a therapist, or if you're in a business, you bring in a consultant, there's something about that outside perspective that sometimes they can see things that you can't see. It's great to have the conversation, but then it also just speaks volumes to like what you're trying to accomplish. And so you can even learn from it as well through those collaborations, which I think is super important and incredibly wise. And then to what you were saying,
touching on a humility factor, Sean, that's super important, because if you walk into a room and think you're the only voice that matters, we got a problem. You will not be liked long term. Maybe short term you'll be liked, but not long term, because it doesn't taste right, doesn't smell right when you doesn't sound right when you hear somebody like that. And so that collaboration model really, it's a brilliant organic model, Manny, like you're mentioning. It's the low cost, high return on investment, and it's super fun. Like, why would you not do it?
Right. I actually tested this theory because when, I've been in business since 2011, and I'm always about data. I'm very analytical. So I look at things as a way to say, all right, how does that work? How can I get better results? And I came across a statistic, and this might be shocking to some people in the entrepreneur space that are, say, building a website, building an email list, promoting themselves on social media, right? We think like, oh, wow, that's what everybody does. Well, if you're building an email list as an example, right? I came across this quote that said text offers are redeemed 8 times more than emailed offers. And I was like, no way, because I was not building a mobile list. I didn't have a bunch of cell phone numbers. I think all combined, I had 6,000 plus email addresses and like 500 cell phone numbers. And so I was like, let me test this theory, because I like to put things to the test. I had enough data to go and put this out there. So I tested this. I hosted an event. I'm an event producer. I do these, funnel networking events. And I invited a bunch of people and said, hey, I'm going to give you a free ticket to my event. Here, click the link and register. You just plug it in. You're good to go. I got out of the 6,500 email addresses where I sent out that broadcast, I got 33 people to go register and sign up for the event. And I thought, oh, 1 email broadcast, 33 registration, not bad. But I sent that text out, same exact message, same invite, same event, right? Same offer. Free tickets, click here to register, good to go. 256 people. Why? Because text has a 98% open rate within 5 minutes. Think about it. Everybody watching right now, put it in the comments. How many unread text messages do you have on your phone right now? I bet you it's less than 10. And then put how many unread emails you have in your inbox right now. I bet you that number is at least 4 digits. Go, I want to see what I see. Other people somebody put 100, a million emails, I think. 0. Look, everyone's putting 0 text messages. They read all their messages. And yet less than 5% of businesses even have a mobile strategy. It's crazy.
And I'm gonna be the outlier because I've got 16 unread text messages, and so I might be the outlier.
Well, compared to email, it's probably at least 100 to 1. Unread emails.
Yeah. Well, let's see. So in my personal one, there's 7,237 unread emails. 16 in my dad's email that I manage for him. Another 2,000 in a different one, and 134 in like my main work one. So
I rest my case.
There we go. Someone commented and said, "Hey, don't give me crap. I just had a baby, right?" So, well, my wife did.
Totally cool. We totally forgive everybody. It's okay. But that's the thing. It's like understanding systems and technology, and then the leveraging of influence was like a mind-blowing thing, because for the first 5 years in business, I thought I can't talk to anybody that's high level in my industry. I can't bring on any clients that would be a big name brand, right? And I spent the first 5 years bringing in clients that nobody would know. They're just these small service-based businesses, small mom and pop brands. And every industry I would go to, every new community I would go to and try to share what my strategies would be, I'd have to start all over. And then I landed a client, some of you may know this person, by the name of Les Brown, motivational speaker. He's from the foster care system like myself. I could totally relate to him. He was like my inspiration to becoming an entrepreneur. Many years into my entrepreneur journey, had the opportunity to collaborate with him. Once I collaborated with somebody who already had influence to the market I wanted to reach, I wanted to have more speakers, coaches, authors, and consultants as clients. I knew what I did was really effective for what they were doing, but yet they were looking at me like, okay, who can you have real results with that I could compare to? Then I landed Les Brown, who was like the ultimate speaker, coach, author, consultant. And it's like easy now. It's like you could leverage that success. So find something where you could collaborate with somebody who's already got those clients. Leverage that ability where if you can get them results, we got Les Brown some awesome results with our strategies. That's where you can then leverage that to that audience. So just like with Kingdom Warriors, right? You guys are coming in here proving the utility, proving the value. There's all kinds of fun stuff you guys can unlock. There's tokens, there's apps, there's free NFTs, there's giveaways, there's free education. You got all of this value that brings you into our community and then helps us leverage when we make partnerships and collaborations with all these awesome brands that you guys recognize. We bring in people from Disney and Marvel, and you recognize these brands. Well, these people are part of our team, right? That's the idea, is you find where your audience is, what they're looking for, what they would know, relate to them as much as you can, and then just build valuable relationships. So, sorry guys, I love talking about this topic, as you can probably tell.
We can definitely tell. We can definitely tell. And I mean, I love it. I love the passion. I love the statistics. I love the stories. And so I want to go deeper into this a little bit because again, going back to the beginning, this conversation is systems and strategy to build and sustain movement. I feel like we've covered the systems part, right? Like at least the strategy part. The strategy would be collect people's text, like phone numbers for text messaging, do collaborations. So if we were to start from scratch, if we were to say, hey, let's build a system and a strategy right here, right now, using a collaboration and using a text message strategy, and you're launching something, what would you start to do? So like, what would be a step-by-step process that we can even like kind of workshop right now? What would you guys say?
Who wants to take this?
I mean, like, what would be the first step? What's the first thing that we got to do?
Well, let's look at the use case. Manny, let's talk about you and me. Let's use a hypothetical. Perfect. So we're here in like meta, just in the moment, right? We're here on Kingdom Warriors. We're dropping nuggets. You're dropping nuggets. We're connecting. We're getting to know each other even more and more. We've talked a little bit before, but we're now getting to know each other's style, our language preferences, just what kind of specialties we have. All these kind of things. There's an authority branding that's starting to develop and a collaboration potential here, right? So what would that look like in your mind? You've done a lot of collaborations. We do a lot of relational marketing. You do a lot of organic marketing with some automation. Like what would that look like in your mind? Let's just use it as an example.
So anytime I'm looking at a collaboration, the first thing I do is I show them visually what I do, right? So for the last 7 years now, I made a rule in my business. I said, if I get asked the same question 3 times, by the 4th time I have that question asked to me, I'm going to have that process documented. One of the most powerful things in business is processes. Most people don't understand this. Your process to what you do is gold to some people. You may think it's super easy, like, oh, that's easy for me. It's exciting for me to go learn about, and I have experience in getting results. call that the 3 E's. But your client, people who will pay you to either teach them how to do it or to do it for them, they can't check off those 3 E's. It's not easy for them. It's not exciting for them to go learn it. They can't go watch a bunch of YouTube videos and just be like, oh, I'm an expert now, right? And they have no experience in getting results. They need to hire somebody. So in my business, I teach on the idea of process and getting paid to teach a process, whether you're a speaker, you're a coach, author, you're writing a book about it, you're consulting a brand with it. And so I always start by giving you my process, because here's a crazy statistic. 97 out of 100 people, if you give them your entire process for free, let's say I was like, hey, bro, I'm going to just give you what people pay me to do. You don't even have to hire me. All right. I'll just give it to you. It's a do-it-yourself version, PDF, ebooks, audio, whatever it is. It doesn't matter, right? It could be anything. It could just be one little 10-minute video on YouTube you give. But it's just saying, hey, this is my process. This is what people pay me to do. I'm going to give it to you. All I need from you is your cell phone number, and then I'm just going to ask you if it works, right? So let me chat with you. Let me text you back, and I'll ask you if it works. That's it. It's a great way for me to establish a conversation where I'm just like, I'll show you what I do. I'll show you my school. I'll show you my platform. I'll show you my resources. I'll show you my process. There's something I can give you that you're going to give me your cell phone number for. That's my very first step. I don't want to go anywhere past that on step 1. I just want your phone number, and I want to give you something that has relative to my process or specialty.
So that's lead generation, organic style, right? With process as your kind of your lead magnet, and your signature system basically as your lead magnet, right? What would that do? How would we collaborate on something like that? Let's say I had something called the Giver Marketing Blueprint. You had something else. They're both signature process, probably a little bit of overlap, but probably not much. There's probably just enough to make it interesting, but there's a lot of double positives there going on, right? So what would we do next?
So the reason why that first step is me getting your cell phone number for my process is that establish of authority. It's just say, hey, this is what I do, and do I have enough value in us connecting right now that you're willing to give me your cell phone number? If you say, hey, go follow me on social media, here's my email address, and I'm like, okay, maybe we didn't have any click yet, right? So that first little step is a little kind of reverse psychology. The collaboration starts when I just really have an interest in what it is that you do. I start asking questions. I want to get on a call with you. I want to see how what I do can bring value to what you're doing. And if it's just education, I'll have no problem spending 2 years building a relationship with you before I even decide that, hey, we should be doing business together, right? So for me, I take it slow. I have no problem with that. 2% of sales happen on the first contact. Literally, out of 100 people that are going to pay you for what you do, 2 of them will come on the very first contact and say, hey, I've been looking for somebody like you. We need to be doing business together. They're already going to be like super fans when they meet you. Okay, you don't have to worry about that. 3% on the second contact, 5% on the third. It makes no sense for me to try and sell or look at like a monetizable collaboration on any of the first 5 contacts. I just want to understand, do we like each other? Can I even bring you any value? Is there somebody in my network I should be connecting you with? There's a lot of times where my collaboration is an introduction. It's like, I know somebody you should know. You guys should totally hang out. Like Precious Kids Foundation. Great friend of mine. I've been knowing her for like 6 or 7 years. Has an awesome organization, a nonprofit that helps literally save lives. And I was like, you need to know Eric. Connected them, and bam, now we're saving lives through the Kingdom Warriors and Precious Kids Foundation collaboration. I love doing stuff like that. That's kind of where my first 5 to 10 contacts go, is just, where can I bring value? Where can I just serve?
If you were a contact of mine or I was a contact of yours, we would do that. We would get together for a 20, 30 minutes story swap, basically, to find out where we're at, what we're doing. And then at that point, we would then go, okay, what's a good time and place for us to get some exposure with each other's like groups, and let's just figure this out. Small or big, whether it's our entire list or whether it's just a small mastermind or master class or something, we just figure it out and go with the path of least resistance and just get it done, right?
Here's where most entrepreneurs miss and most people miss when they're building relationships. They think, I gotta get them to some point where it's like I could tell them what I do, right? If people understood that your services, your value, what you do can really be positioned in a lot of different ways, it's all about the communication, right? I would rather spend my time just learning about what Timothy does, learning about what he likes, what he needs. What's the biggest challenge? What are the things that are difficult for him that maybe I could just bring a resource to? It's all about that understanding, kind of like a discovery call where you spend 20 minutes to know somebody, you ask them a couple questions, see, can I help you? Is there some way to do it? And the best part of documenting your process, remember, if you use that same rule where if every time somebody talks to you about your business, you end up creating a documented way to say, this is how I do it, you now have a gift that you can give to the world. Anybody that comes across what I do, I can give them a free version of it, no strings attached, and be completely happy about that because 97% of the time, they're taking no action without me. They're not hiring somebody else. They're not going to go find it cheaper. They're not going to go do it themselves. 3 out of 100 people will attempt to do that. The other 97, they just consider you an expert. This is how I built my business over the last 7 years is I went completely mobile, completely into serving first, just building relationships, finding a way to bring value and finding that win-win. You're not going to have a collaboration unless you can clearly define how, if me and Timothy were going to collab, hey, Timothy, here's how you benefit from us collaborating. Not, hey, this is what I do. This is my really good services and I'm really good at it and it's this much. No, it's like, Timothy, I think we would do a really good collaboration. I see you're in this arena and the biggest need for your business right now is this. Dude, I know like 6 people that can really be a good fit. Can I make that introduction for you? Can I make that conversation happen and just see where that goes? Or maybe it's like, dude, I have a really good solution. Can I show you how that solution works? And then how it's going to be an easy win-win. And how whatever your cost is for that collaboration, dollar-wise, time-wise, whatever it is, how you can easily see that ROI for them. And it's like, this is a no-brainer. We should be collaborating.
Yep. Love it.
Good stuff, man. So looking at like what you do, what would you say is like how you collaborate? What are some of the ways that you do it? And, you know, because I definitely been chatting too much a little bit on my process. I want to learn how you do some stuff.
Not too much at all. Not too much at all. Take that question, Timothy, and then we're going to wrap up the conversation and head to the VIP session. So go for it.
Yeah, we're known for taking people through a 4-step process, marketing process, basically marketing 101. So branding, visibility, promotion, and nurturing, which is basically all the things we've been talking about today to kind of set the stage for momentum and movement in your business or in your organization. What I do personally and what I train our team members, we have about 30 team members, and we encourage that discovery call where you swap stories, make sure there's some alignment, and then if there's some kind of collaboration that can happen or resource that can be given, like you're saying, Manny, we go ahead and do that just really briefly. But if time doesn't allow, we generally go into another 30-minute conversation and get deeper into the nuts and bolts of how we can actually help each other. And I do about, I would say about half of our business is done on collaboration type ventures. And so that's a real important piece. So 10-minute phone call, just discovery, 30-minute Zoom, and then we go into a full session or a group dynamic if we can. And a lot of times those are collaboration efforts. So love it.
That's really good. And just to contribute to the conversation of what you guys are talking about and how you can use this to build a business is, so I think of Dave Ramsey. A lot of people credit, because I mean, Manny, you gave some amazing stats for like the first, the 2% like pay on the first contact, like if you offer it right then. But Gary Vee has been known to say like, hey, jab, 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 right hook, right? So you're saying at least 5 jabs and then the hook. Well, I actually think one of the real OGs is Dave Ramsey, because look at how he's built his business. Like 25 years ago, he went bankrupt. He created a 7-step process to get out of debt and then to build wealth called the 7 baby steps. he started doing workshops about it. The first ever workshop, as he tells it, that he planned, he hosted it. One person came to it. And then he was crazy enough to go after someone that basically allowed him to have a radio show. And every weekday for 25 years, for like 3 hours a day now, he goes live and he just repeats the 7 baby steps, the 7 baby steps, the 7 baby steps, the 7 baby steps, right? Like I know, because my wife and I listened to the podcast, all 3 hours of it every single day for the first 2 years of our marriage, so that we could learn and pay off our debt. And after that, we bought his book. We went to a workshop. We went to an event in Atlanta. So like I got sucked into hey, he's teaching me, but I still need to go deeper kind of thing. So I think it's really wise what you guys are saying. Well, we've got a minute before we wrap up and we go to it. I would love to ask this one last question for you guys. What is, if someone is starting from scratch, or maybe they're already an entrepreneur, they're already a business owner, what's your favorite piece of software right now that helps with either a strategy or a system that you can share with us? Just like we're not dropping like links here where we can do a referral link, but just what's your favorite one right now?
Go, Timothy, you go first.
Yeah, there's a tool that we use to help record our Zoom chats, and I'm trying to remember the spelling of it. Hold on one sec. I'm going to grab it right here. Hold on. We have it white labeled, and so it joins with you. Do you remember the name of those types of software, Manny? I got it right here. Hold on.
I know, because every Zoom meeting,
right?
It's always in there.
Like SaaS type?
Yeah, it's a SaaS product that joins in the
Fireflies.
Fireflies. Yep, that's it.
Vera put it in the private chat. Fireflies.
So what's cool about Fireflies is you can pay them $5 and have them do a white label version of it, and it doesn't detract from your brand. So like when you join a Zoom, when people send me a text message in the group, because we just put my phone number in there, and I know Manny is going to do the same thing. When you go to set up an appointment, it's basically going to come in on our Zoom chats as giver notes. It's going to transcribe every word we say with each other, and it's going to send an automatic email out to everybody with the audio and the transcription of our conversation. Fireflies.ai.
Nice. I haven't heard of that one. I'm going to check that one out. My favorite system is called Text Magic. Now, I get paid nothing to tell you about this. There is no affiliate link. I don't even think they have one. But it is a system that allows you to have your own dedicated personal cell phone number that you can automate. So I can open up hundreds of conversations just by typing out one message. I can automate an entire response. Like if I'm on stage at an event or I'm doing a live stream like right now, and I just say, hey guys, text me at this number, I can give you a specific word to text, and the system by itself for 4 cents, okay, only 4 pennies, will send a message back to you within 2 minutes, put your phone number in the system that says, here's all the data, when you texted, when you responded, delivery rate, all that, put you into a category that says you're interested in this topic, so you can then follow up with them already organized, like a MailChimp with 98% open rates. This thing, it's been a game changer. I used to actually go on stages and give out my personal cell phone number and go off stage, copy, paste. I mean, think about this. If I was to take one message, just one message I wanted to send to 500 people, just 500 people, okay? It would take me 10 hours of copy and pasting to send them one message. Yet this system can send out that message with one message, type it out in 10 seconds, and just click send and go hang out with the kids and go play, go read the Bible, right? Go enjoy some music, come back 20 minutes later, and all the messages you've been sending, you've got dozens of responses already, and conversations are open. And now it's just being you, talk, have a conversation, tell people to go to your calendar, schedule calls, sell them your book, get them into a collaboration. Very, very easy stuff. I love Text Magic. It's definitely been my favorite game changer in my business.
So good. And I feel like the problems that this is solving, I feel both of those because I have been the note taker on like most Zoom calls. And I've been behind the scenes where someone gave a Google number, and it was my job to have a message that replied to every single one that came in. And I think within the span of like 30 minutes, we had like 300 people text in. So I was literally copying and pasting to every single person. So I love that this was shared. I will contribute to it on the marketing side. One of the ones that I'm pretty big on right now, that specifically it's really great for Twitter and for Twitter threads, is Hype Fury. Hype Fury. And it's great for you can schedule. We use it with Kingdom Warriors. I use it with some of my personal accounts. I use it with the events company that I help run. And so Hype Fury is great for, you can literally type out, what I do is I type out a LinkedIn post that will be, I don't know, it's several like sentences, paragraphs kind of thing. You copy and paste it one time and it splits it up into tweets all ready for you, and you can schedule it in advance or hit send right there. It's amazing. So I love these. Well, you guys, hey, this has been amazing. Before I give you final words, just for everyone that's watching, I want to pop up on screen here. Hey, we have a competition right now where there are 2 grand prizes, and we've got Manny saying you can grab his information right there. You can text it, but the competition is for these 10 prizes. There's 2 grand prizes going out, a first and second place. So be sure to enter the competition. And then, of course, we have everything else that's happening within the Facebook group. And tomorrow's the last day. So tomorrow is the absolute last day where you can compete with your teams. And we are about to go right now to the bonus Q&A session for the VIP on Zoom, so that you can ask even more questions with myself, with Manny, and I was about to call you Manathy because we've got Manny and Timothy here.
That's cool. That's a collab name right there.
That is.
By the way, my fat fingers got it wrong. It's 369. I put my new number right there. So I'm so dumb. My fat fingers all trying to do it on my fingers while I'm live here. That's what I get. But yeah, 714-369, not 360.
I love it. So if they text that number, they might get kind of a response, but it might not be the one they're looking for.
Vera's got you. She'll correct it.
Yeah, I put the number right below it, but yeah, it's cool.
I love it. This has been so fun, you guys.
You guys have to figure it out. It's a scavenger hunt to find Manny's number now.
All right, y'all. Well, hey, if you're watching this live or the replay, it's been such a pleasure. I hope that you have gained as much. I mean, I've got a couple pages of notes right here that I'm excited to dig into. And if you're a VIP, you got in your email inbox the Zoom link. We will see you there on Zoom. And then if you want to join the Kingdom Warriors Discord, please, please, please do so. You can find a link in the Facebook group. And then I think we had a couple people, Vera, that said that they were looking at buying and selling a couple packages right now. So if we could drop that link in Facebook right now, that would be amazing. So, all right, final closing thoughts, one each from each of you. Like, this is your miniature condensed TED Talk closing thought. And Timothy, you're on deck, ready, go.
Hey, when it comes to movements, make sure that you're centered on the relationships that will build those communities. Those communities will then become the actual mechanism by which your movement is multiplied. If there's not a multiplying factor, it's not a movement. If it's not a multiplying factor, it's not a movement. So think multiplication and you'll be good.
Bam. Manny, you're up.
I love it. Well, my message is all about serving your way to success. For me, things really changed 2017 when I had a conversation with God that told me, help the orphans, you have no fear. And it really took me on a mission to discover that there is 3 things in life that we as humans, if we want to be successful in any endeavor, need to focus on. And that's mentorship, entrepreneurship, and faith. You need to find somebody who's already been where you want to be and is willing to teach you. That is a mentor. Entrepreneurship, that's going to be your vehicle to build your own dream versus waiting for permission to continue to build someone else's. It's time to build your own dream. Faith is your foundation. That, you know, the funniest thing is I did a whole interview series. I interviewed 50 millionaires, and they said their number 1 success secret was having faith as their foundation. Stop listening to the people that are telling you to shelve Jesus and not tell people about how excited you are about your faith and how that drives you through the things that are usually holding other people back. Faith is your foundation. You are building something that's bigger than you, and it's going to be passing on to the next generation. You will discover it. You have that genius. And we always remember that you are too blessed to be stressed.
So good. So good. And just to add to the conversation, I was doing yard work yesterday and I got to the opportunity to pull a whole bunch of weeds. And while I was doing that, I was reflecting upon a past sermon that I had heard. And this is what stuck out to me is that Abraham was too old. David was too small to conquer Goliath, right? So the Bible and history is full of men and women that were too whatever for in order to accomplish something until they did it, until God, the Holy Spirit filled them and they were able to do something great. So we have that same spirit that raised Jesus from the grave within us as believers. And so we can be great as well. So, hey, this has been an amazing conversation and we're taking it to Zoom. The party's not stopping. You get to see our smiling faces and hear these sound effects right there. We're leveling up to Zoom.
Nice.
All right, everyone. Hey, this has been so fun. We're going to play some music as we tune out and show some love for Manny and for Timothy in the chat because this has been so fun. Thanks, everyone. And we'll see the VIPs on Zoom. Bye.
Adios, amigos.